What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another helpful video. I do want to let you guys know that the reason that I'm making this how to use a MACD indicator is due to a request within the TechBud Solutions. It's due to a member within the TechBud Solutions community. So if you guys don't know what TechBud Solutions is, the link is provided for you down below. We're a little bit over now 31,000 members worldwide with all the different platforms we have available. The link down below will take you and guide you to the Facebook group. Again, that is 100% free. Once you get accepted, on the top pinned post, there are a series of group chats available. Those are through GroupMe, which are also free. All we ask you to do is to provide a supportive community for both new and experienced traders. What we do best is share best practices, share mistakes, in an effort to promote overall group growth. So it's a very supportive community, especially for those that are barely getting started. So it looks like you guys could actually hear me now. Wait, okay, so they're saying I'm Gucci. So they're saying that because I previously went live about like 3 minutes ago, and this microphone that I just bought, the snowball thing, doesn't even work. But that's not what we're going to be doing today. I was telling my roommate that I saw that I was going live, and there's a bunch of comments going in saying like, "Hey, Ricky, we can't hear you." I was gonna be like, I don't know if you guys saw the Conor McGregor thing. They're like, "F that mic," and then he slaps it. But definitely not gonna do that. I don't think I set it up properly and stuff like that. But I do want to thank you guys again for tuning in. I'm gonna show you guys kind of just the basics of the MACD indicator. Also, I'm gonna do a quick recap on today's trading. That's gonna take like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm just gonna talk about pretty much my own recap, and I want to give a couple shout outs to a couple members within the TechBud Solutions platform. So I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. Let's kind of get started. And I do want to start off by saying I personally do not use the MACD indicator. I am more of a technical trader, meaning that I like to identify more just supports and resistance and wait for the sign of upward momentum. So a big indicator that I like to use is EMA, RSI, and I like to focus on volume, understanding that this is an indicator that I use. I was actually watching a couple of videos. I mean, I understand MACD and what the purpose is. It tells you and it tries to indicate when the trigger line and the like, what is it? It's not exactly what the exact term is, but the like moving average of when it ends up peaking out, and then when it crosses the trigger line, it indicates like a buy point or a sell point, and then when it sees, in a sense, a bounce, then indicates another buy point, and then when it hits the peak, it identifies a trigger point to sell. So it doesn't really necessarily really help me out too much, again, but it's more my style of trading. There is a member within our community that always sends me screenshots, and it always has the MACD indicator, and he says it's very useful for him. He's more of a momentum trader. His name is Kyle, and he's an amazing guy. He always direct messages me a bunch of different stocks that he's looking at, and it's actually led me to be a little bit more successful when it comes to trading because he exposes me to new opportunities. So let me go ahead and kind of just get started, and I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown, and I'll say what's up to all of you guys in just a couple minutes. I just want to make sure those that are tuning in for the first time don't get their time wasted by me kind of going down all the list of comments that you guys have. But I promise you that I will go down the list, and I'll say what's up to you guys in just a minute. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we'll go from there. Don't like that. Okay, so first of all, I want to make sure that you guys are aware that I am using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. Again, for all those that ask, TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform, and it is a free platform that you can download on either your MacBook or your PC. You simply have to open up an account, and it is free. And you do have to be a United States resident with a social security number. So as long as you have that, then you can open one of these up for free. So just wanted to let you guys know. Let's get started. So what is the MACD indicator? Well, it is this. I was telling my roommates, we're watching a couple videos on, I just wanted to like refresh my memory on the MACD and kind of how to explain it to you guys, because a lot of people, although I don't necessarily use the MACD indicator, a lot of people just like the way I break things down. And hopefully I do the same thing when it comes down to this video. But people, man, they're so boring, and I hope that I'm not that monotone and just that boring and explaining, because I want to make sure that you guys are pumped and ready to, trade and stuff like that and get into this like new market, right? This new venture, but to do it with things that you understand. And because their videos are so boring and the whole just curriculum or content that they're sharing, it is just, I don't think it's very effective because they don't get straight to the point. They try to give you like a Google definition of it, but throughout like a 9 to 20-minute video. So feel free to check out other videos, right? As well as aside from this one, if you guys want to get like an exact definition. But I just want to give you a quick rundown on how I personally would indicate, because it identifies, so again, this is the trigger line, and it identifies a buy point, and then when it crosses again with the blue line and the, I don't know what you want to call that, the gold line or the white line, it's points. So it's kind of the same thing from just, I don't find these trigger points to be very effective, and that's just my opinion. And there's ways that you can change it. So how is it that you can gain access to this MACD indicator, right? So we're on the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. How is it that you even can add the study, right? Well, you're going to go over here to studies. You're going to click on edit studies, and I'm going to remove it for you guys. And I'm going to search up MACD. I'm starting from scratch. I go like this. I double click it, add it to the lower quartile of my strategy. So that's why it's down here. So we're going to click OK. And then it adds it here. This is how it comes normally. It doesn't offer any trigger points. It won't tell me like when to buy and when to sell. It crosses. And then for those that don't want the arrows, it just, you would indicate that as a buy point and then as a sell point. So as I'm scanning through here, you guys want to make sure you guys focus on the price point and the overall just actual price point, because you're trying to buy low and sell high, right? So understand that it's still very important to understand the support and resistance and at least understand the fundamentals of trading before getting into these certain indicators, because no indicator is going to be 100%. If if MACD, the indicator itself was 100%, 100% of the time, then everyone would use MACD indicator to identify a good buy point and a good sell point, and it wouldn't necessarily, right? It wouldn't be so difficult to day trade. But how is it that you can do this to get a better understanding that you're getting in at a good buy or at a good sell, that it's about to bounce? Well, something that I like to focus on and that I've noticed when using the MACD indicator is I like to see when it's, again, me as a technical trader, I like to see when it's actually about to bounce, understanding that, and I hope this makes sense to you. So now that I showed you guys how to set it up, I like to make it based on how it's normally set up, it's pretty slow. So what I mean by that is, first, let me go to studies, click edit studies. We're going to click on this little wrench right here, and then I'm going to click on show breakout signals. Those are the little arrows. We're going to click yes, click OK, OK, and then it has these little arrows for me to get a better understanding where to buy and where to sell, right? So it tells me once the market opens, it has the pullback, right? Again, this is ZN. Understanding that I traded ZN today, and I've traded it multiple times before. We understood that it had a support here at $4. It went sub $4, so I was actually waiting for the break above $4. Understanding that right as it broke above $4, this MACD indicator indicated, it's a buy. So understanding that, where's the resistance? Again, I don't really care too much about the MACD indicator. I want to focus more on at least understanding first what it is that I'm investing and setting up a plan. Again, getting my principles down first before I start using different indicators to understand or to get a better understanding of what it is that I'm investing. Well, if I get in at $4, like a high resistance would be 420. Understanding that right as the market opened, it tried to hit 420, hit highs of 417, had a pullback, and previous, before, like just on this one-day analysis, if you go maybe 1 or 2 days back, you guys could actually see that there was a previous resistance at, let's see, where is it? Right here. So when it went below 410, it had a resistance or a support at 410, meaning like old supports become new resistance levels. So what that means is now that we're sub 410, we're at $4 and it's picking back up. So we're around $4 to 410. 410 is going to be the resistance, meaning that it's going to struggle to go above that. But realistically, it ended up hitting 420, no problem. And that was the overall resistance. So at least I know, I'm getting it at a good buy. I'm planning to either sell at 410 or 420. And I called that out within the group chat. So how is it that I could have used this MACD indicator to get a better understanding? When you're using 1-minute candlesticks because you want, the most live data, right? I feel like the MACD indicator is pretty slow at identifying a good buy. So when it did bounce and broke above $4, it indicated for me to buy, right? And then when it peaked out at about 410, it waited. Again, it started showing signs of downward momentum, and it waited to indicate me right here. That was a little bit too low for me. 402, it's just not quick enough, right? It's not letting me know that I should sell a little quicker. So there's 2 ways to approach this. I actually like to look at like these bars, understanding that these bars are are showing kind of like the momentum of this specific stock. And the higher the momentum, the higher the blue line goes up, right? And then this EMA, or this trigger, the trigger line, right? When it crosses, it's supposed to let you know when to buy and when to sell. But again, I like to focus more on the bars. And once the bars start to peak out, and once they start to show signs of downward momentum, I would much rather sell. Understanding that is, I'm going to stick to the fundamentals of where, the support, the resistance, making sure that I'm buying at the bounce. And then it, identifies that, okay, look, this thing is letting me know that I've identified $4 previous to even looking at the MACD indicator, that $4 is a good buy. And the MACD indicator is just there to support it as well as once you get in at $4, or even here, you can see that the volume really dies down here. But when it breaks above $4, the volume starts to increase, which indicates, signs of good demand, right? There's more buyers than sellers, which increases or correlates to upward momentum. Understanding that the resistance is at 410, you should have known that before that. You should have done your analysis before and known that it was an old support and it was going to become a new resistance level. So once you see these MACD indicator bars that start showing signs of downward momentum, I would have sold there. I would have already put a limit order to sell at 410, or have, I already had a plan to already sell at 410. It started to show signs of downward momentum, and it let me know to sell at, what was that, 402 at this bar right here. So I think a better way to approach the MACD indicator, instead of waiting and hoping that it triggers a good buy and a good sell, there's nothing wrong with using the MACD indicator to get a better understanding, to support what it is that you're trading, and to validating it as a good buy. But don't solely rely on just one single indicator or any indicator whatsoever. And I think that's one of the best suggestions that I can give you guys, is there's no one true indicator that is going to tell you, when it's a good buy and when it's a good sell. There's always this form of risk, and there's always this, just like, if there's any indicator that would tell you to buy 100%, that it was going to go up and you could sell for a profit, then again, this market would be extremely profitable, right? That's definitely not the case with 90% people losing money and 10% making money. So make sure you guys do your DD first, right? Dedicate to identifying potential first, ensuring that you're getting in at a good buy or close to near support, waiting for the bounce. And don't be afraid to explore different options that, this MACD indicator might be something that you guys can be a little bit more profitable for. So again, the reason that I like the MACD indicator, and something that I can find useful by using the MACD indicator, is that these bars, once they start to peak out, they start to show signs of downward momentum, and so does the price, and the price follows, right? Understanding that if I bought in at $4, so I bought in at a good price, right? Right up, it broke above the support. Let's say I bought in at $4 or 401. It starts to show signs of upward momentum, and understanding that the resistance is at 410. And these bars are starting to show signs of downward momentum, that's only going to validate that I should start selling at 410 or at 409, locking in profits, right? Locking in profits from, I think that's like 2.5%. Yeah, that's close to 2.5%. I should just lock in profits there. Now it starts to come back down, and then it bounces. Again, it starts showing signs of upward momentum. It's staircasing. That's a trend that we always talk about. And then it approaches, this resistance. It kind of builds this like triangle type of breakout. And then, it hits this resistance at 410. It breaks above 410. So again, breaks resistance, and then it starts to hold. Again, MACD indicator indicates that that's a good buy. So once it breaks above 410, it hits highs of 417, understanding that 417 was the previous resistance right at market open. You should have known that already, right, before jumping in, that it peaked out at 417 and it had a resistance at 420. So it indicated that it was a good buy at around 410, so right when it broke the resistance. So that's good. So that's there to support your case that you got in at a good buy. And then once it peaks out and it hits 417 and then starts to show a downward trend, and then you can see that the next bar that follows is indicating that it's dropping. Therefore, you understand that it already hit its resistance. It's showing signs of downward momentum, and you're already up. So what's, as a day trader, what's something that you might want to do? Well, you might want to lock in profits. So again, you can use the MACD indicator due to these bars. And this is what I find useful from the MACD indicator, when not only to let the MACD indicator tell you when to buy, but to also use these bars to indicate when is a good sell point. Now let's use this the opposite way. When is this going to bounce? Well, understanding that it builds this curve, right, this bounce, and you see that it's showing signs of downward momentum, right, downward momentum, and then once it starts to flatline, right, as you guys can see here, it builds a support at 407. And I called this out in the group, again, not using the MACD indicator whatsoever. It's just I saw that it started to flatline, it was building a support at 407, and the MACD indicator follows. Again, it's very slow. It didn't indicate a good buy until it broke again above 410, or it was at 410 already. That's a little bit too delayed for me. So there's some settings that you guys can go through to make the indicator or the MACD indicator to be a little bit more quick or volatile with the actual price changes. But then again, you're just kind of, if you're just solely relying on the MACD indicator to tell you when to get in and when to get out, then you're kind of just hoping for, an indicator to tell you how to trade. And I think it comes down to more of you justifying your trade, or you making sense of your trade, rather than relying on an indicator to tell you 100% of the times where to buy and where to sell. I'd much rather be able to identify the support, see that it starts to flatline, and then use the MACD indicator that it's starting to show signs of upward momentum, meaning that it started showing signs of downward trend, it started to flatline, and then started showing upward momentum, right? These bars started, in a sense, getting smaller, and then it indicated that it's a good buy. I would have much rather identified the support here, and once I started seeing that these bars started getting smaller, at this point right here, at this area right here, I could already see that these bars are already getting smaller. Therefore, I could have indicated that, okay, we have a support at 407. We have a support at 407. Well, way too close. I could have identified before that we had a support at the 407, just like I called out, and then have used this to support my case, or use this indicator to support my case that it's showing signs of upward momentum. Now, that's pretty much how I would break down the MACD indicator, and to use it to identify where's a good buy and where's a good sell, not to let the MACD indicator indicate where to only buy and where to only sell. Because if you guys could see, if you guys were to buy here at 410, that would have indicated a perfect resistance, right? It broke the 410 resistance. That would have been perfect, right? It played out well, and that was great. Now it peaks out at 417, and if you solely rely on this MACD indicator to tell you where to sell, it would have told you to sell right here, which in this candlestick, it was at 410 to 401. So instead of locking in profits and hoping that the MACD indicator tells you where to buy, you rely on an indicator that is performing or reacting too slow to the market price. So that's why you at least have to have an understanding of where the support, where the resistance is. And then a better way to approach this, in my opinion, would be to use these bars to indicate where it peaks out at when it starts to show signs of downward momentum, and then to make sense of it. Well, if 417 was a previous resistance, and then it's starting to show signs of downward momentum, and then the MACD indicator is also showing that it's starting to show signs of downward momentum, I'd much rather lock in profits right away. And then again, it starts to drop back down. It builds a support at 407. And then I think to myself, is this where it's going to bounce? It's flatlined at 407. Let me refer to the MACD indicator to see if it's starting to show signs of upward momentum. And then I can see these bars, they're starting to get smaller. I can justify my position at 407 that that's a good buy. I'll stop loss if it goes below 407 if you want to have a very tight stop loss. And understand that the next resistance is going to be at 410, again, because it was an old support being a new resistance, and it was a previous resistance. But then it breaks above 410, and that's when it actually indicates. So then that would have made you miss out on, again, nothing huge. It's like about 1% or 0.75% profit. But it's just a principle of not relying on an indicator to justify where to buy and when to sell, and to solely rely on that. So I'm not too sure. I want to hear your guys' opinion. What do you guys prefer to rely solely on an indicator to tell you when to buy or when to sell, and just rely on that? Or would you guys want to have a better understanding to justify your trade, having knowledge of the stock, of previous supports, previous resistance, first making sense that that's a support, and then going and referring to whatever indicator that you guys are trying to use. If it's RSI, if it's if the RSI is starting to show signs of upward momentum, if it's below 30 RSI, if the EMA line is starting to it breaks above the EMA line, whatever it is. I think, and Bradley is there to, Bradley Ryan, thank you again. It looks like there's someone that, I'm not too sure what, no. All right, but it comes down to the principle of, with TechBud Solutions, we have 3 rules, and we talk about them all the time. You guys don't have to go by them, but when it comes down to trading, I see more success for traders overall. Again, there's momentum traders, swing traders, day traders, technical traders, traders that focus on fundamentals. Whatever it is that you are investing in, you never want to trade based on anyone else's opinion, right? That's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, because you're solely relying on investing your hard-earned money in something that you don't understand. Now that goes into the second rule. Only invest in what you understand and what you can make sense of. Understanding that you're getting in at a good buy and trying to sell for a profit. If you can make sense that you're getting in at a good buy and you have some data or fundamentals to back that up, then that's you as an investor have justified that. Now going into the third rule, have a plan when trading. Identify a good buy point, identify a good sell point, and then where you would catch your losses, just in case the stock doesn't go the way that you plan. Making sure that you can keep losses small and keep profits larger. You can see, 3 red days with 1 green day and you'll be even, right? Understanding that there's so many people, and I can't stress this enough, on how important it is to cut losses. One of the biggest mistakes for a lot of members and with a lot of traders is they don't know how to cut losses. They get too emotionally attached to the stock that they're trading, hope that it bounces back up. That is why, and a lot of our traders, and there's nothing wrong with this, but a lot of our traders focus on stocks that are $1 or less. I personally don't, because I find them to be a little bit more volatile. I find them to be a little bit more difficult to identify potential in and to set up a plan. I stop loss out so much more often on these lower cap stocks. Understanding that, if you don't keep a tight stop loss with these lower cap stocks that are valued less than $1, they're not the most profitable companies. They're not the most, they're not the best companies, and understand that. If you're investing in a stock that's valued less than $1, it probably isn't the best company. I'm sure companies out there that are valued less than $1 that eventually will break that $1 price point and will continue to rise, but there's a very small margin of those that actually do. A lot of people have a very bad connotation when it comes to penny stocks or low cap stocks, stocks that are valued at less than $1, because they're extremely volatile and because they always continue to depreciate in value. One of the worst things that you can do is invest in something and continue to average down in a stock that is depreciating in value because you're hoping that it bounces back. Again, understand how important it is to cut losses, understand how important it is to identify potential yourself, and to never rely based on anyone else's opinion. For all those that are watching right now, for all those that are experienced traders, for all those that are just getting into trading, I'm sure they can all tell you in the comment section in this live stream right now how important it is to make sure that you can justify your trades yourself and to make sense of your trade. If you don't understand what you're investing in, then maybe taking a step back and learning a little bit more. It's never been easier to learn how to trade. Doesn't mean day trading or swing trading. And what I mean by that is I'm not telling you to open up an account of $1,000, $5,000 and that you're going to be, driving a Z06 or be owning a house like myself, right? That, because I always explain that day trading is not my only source of income, and I want to make sure that you guys understand that it took years for me to understand how to day trade. There's a thing called simulation trading, which is paper trading. You could start it with TD Ameritrade. It's with their Thinkorswim platform, or you can use it in their mobile app. It offers you $200,000 of fake money, and you get the real experience when it comes to trading. What I mean by that is you get to trade real-time stocks, and you can subscribe to real quotes and get a trade with all of us, right? Again, TechBud Solutions being a free platform, you get to trade with all of us, expose you to all new opportunities, share ideas, share best practices, share mistakes, and just develop yourself as a trader. And if this is the biggest thing for people, so many people are brought back by the idea that because they saw failure when it came to day trading, that day trading, because everyone else does it, because 90% of the people that lose money, that day trading is not a profitable market. I definitely want to make sure. I want to make sure that you guys at least take the time to give it a chance. And there's never been a better opportunity or time to make things make Like, get your feet wet and develop yourself as a trader and see if this is a profitable market for yourself. Making sure that you understand that paper trading offers no monetary risk. You get real world experience. You get to trade real stocks with real time quotes. So you can develop yourself as a trader. And, instead of trading with the full $200,000, because I understand that that's not, like realistic for a lot of people, day trade with $1,000 and see what it is that you can make out of that. If you see and you can prove to yourself that you can become a profitable trader and that you learn from your best practices, you're a quick learner, or even if it takes years and you dedicate time to be the best that you can be, and in the long run you see that you can actually make a profit one day trading, at that point that you've proven to yourself that you can be a successful day trader, then that's your decision as an investor to see if this is a market that you really want to invest in. There's nothing wrong with exposing yourself to new opportunity, with trying out new markets. One of the things that I always like to suggest to our community of entrepreneurs and investors, regardless of what the haters say, there's always going to be people that are going to tell you, no, Amazon sales is a complete sham, day trading is a complete sham, real estate's a complete sham, binary options, Forex, whatever it is, whatever creative way there is to make money, people will always tell you that based on their own experience, it wasn't profitable and you shouldn't do it. There's so many ways that you can now expose yourself to these specific markets with no monetary risk. It just comes down to the time that you dedicate to this. So understanding that, there's a lot of people that dedicate a lot of time to spending time with their friends, spending time and watching movies, and regardless of what it is that you guys like to do, maybe dedicating 20 to 30 minutes every single day or every other day or once a week and learning at your own pace. Dedicating time to develop yourself as an entrepreneur, as an investor, and exposing yourself to new opportunity. That's one of the biggest things that I think I've learned this year. And with the amount of people that we've, in a sense, interviewed for the Make It of the Millionaire series, and just everything that is that the people that I've had the blessing to just meet because of my YouTube channel and because of the community that I've grown, it really comes down to the principle of them exposing themselves to an opportunity and doing it at their own, pace, right? And it's such a beautiful thing. There's a lot of people that, are part of TechBud Solutions that don't even day trade, and they just love being a part of this community because it motivates them to work harder in other aspects of their life. And that's all we're here to do. That's all we're here to do. We're here to motivate you and for you to invest in whatever it is that you see value in. I'm not telling you to day trade. Again, this is a video that I'm making based on a request within a member within TechBud Solutions. But all I ask you for you guys to do is, if you guys don't want to day trade or if you guys don't want to invest in the stock market, then don't do it. But understand that if you guys really want to make it in life, there is no 9-to-5 job that you can really have realistically that's going to make you a millionaire, right? There's no 9-to-5 job that's going to allow you to really live, I don't want to say like financial free life, because that's not something that I want to get into, but just identify what it is that you formulate as success. If it's spending more time with your family, having a little bit more financial freedom to do what it is that you love, understand that, I highly encourage everyone to always have a stable income. And that's why I work so hard to manage my businesses, my stable income, my normal job, my schoolwork, and everything else that I do, right? This group. You have the fundamentals, you have your priorities set, and working hard at your own pace at specific or different creative ways to make money. When it comes down to, there was different things that I was that I was thinking and running past my roommates, and a potential thing that I think that we can bring up within TechBud Solutions. We have such a large following that I think day trading, it does take a lot of work in the back end, and it does take a lot of patience and a lot of discipline, and it's not the market for everyone. That's no surprise. But it does expose a lot of people within TechBud Solutions and within YouTube that, with different techniques that I personally use, that it's not as difficult as other people can, explain it to be, right? So now we have thought about, doing and bringing back the day trading challenge. Instead of calling it the Robinhood challenge or the $1,000 to $20,000 challenge, it's just going to be called the day trading challenge. And for you guys to use whichever brokerage company that you guys want, because that was the biggest drawback. And just, again, just capturing your growth and understanding the principle of the power of compounding interest and steady growth and locking in profits and keeping losses small. Because I saw the most growth within our YouTube channel, within our TechBud Solutions overall like each member's accounts, and the consistent growth because of that, of people understanding, it's so important to lock in profits. It's so important to cut losses as quick as possible. And again, it's just me sharing my best practices. And that really worked out very well. I also thought about having a reselling challenge, right? When it comes down to reselling different products, we have a subgroup within TechBuild Solutions called Mobile Investments, and it kind of goes into the idea of the buying and the reselling of different products. Something that we focus on are the different supercars that we own, as well as the different motorcycles that we own. And being able to make on average about $2,000 to $2,500 a month. And again, just as a hobby, just as a side thing that we do, and dedicate about 5 to 10 minutes a day, and being able to make an extra $24,000. It's easier said than done, but we've made numerous videos on how we do it. And I know a lot of you guys are willing to work very hard, and I don't find that to be a very difficult thing for you guys to do. Understanding that, developing a challenge just to expose you guys to that opportunity, and for you guys to dedicate the time to see if this is a market that you guys might want to get into. Does it mean that you guys have to? No, but doing it at your own pace, right? And the last one is the online sales challenge. There's a lot of people that are doing just the drop shipping, affiliate marketing, or Amazon sales, regardless of what it is that you're doing. That's TechBuild Solutions doesn't solely focus on that, but we do want to make sure that something that we do very well is plan out success and plan out growth. And I think just giving you guys, I feel like a lot of people are just, a lot of entrepreneurs are just everywhere, and they just want to make money and find the quickest way to make money, and kind of just, making you guys like relax, take a step back, and really plan out your success, making sure that you guys understand that, you need to start somewhere, and it just comes down to setting up a plan on how you're going to get to your end goal, and then how you're going to get there, right? Having sub goals, is if that's by month or by week, whatever it is, but understanding that you guys need to set up a plan on how you're going to get there, and then going and making it happen. Again, just giving you guys a proper outline on how to be successful in that market. These are just, again, challenges that I think can give people and expose people to new opportunity. So I don't know how I got into this tangent from the MACD indicator to all this, but I just really love like the community that we have, and it's going way further than just trading stocks, and you guys could see that because of the amount of people that are so motivated that they're posting about different things aside from just trading stocks, because they saw opportunity and profit elsewhere. And is there anything wrong with that? No, we want to make sure that we promote and support anyone that wants to be successful. And if that's not trading stocks, then who cares? Who cares if that's not what it is that they want to be successful in? If I can help you guys succeed in Amazon sales, if I can help you guys succeed in the buying and reselling of different products with a simple concept that I can, create for you guys, as in like, just a plan on how to get there, then so be it, right? I'm not here to tell you guys what to trade, as we never tell you where to trade, where to buy, or anything like that. One of the biggest things that people now tell me is I used to go live and I used to like buy and sell, right? And it was real time, right? Now I only dedicate usually 15 minutes as the market opens, and that's usually when I trade for about 1 to 2 hours. And I like to cut the chat out when I'm buying and when I'm selling, because I saw a lot of our members mimicking my trades, and that's not something that a lot of people are saying that I'm trying to like, manipulate in a sense these stocks. I want to get my following to follow me and stuff like that when it comes to my trades. I always tell you guys never to trade what I'm trading and to only invest in what you guys understand. And I think the best way to do that is to not even give you guys, right, the option of even mimicking my trades. Something that I do is I call out my trades within the TechBuild Solutions group chats, and I did that very well, I think, today. And it's something that isn't necessarily, affecting our group anymore, because so many people are trading so many different stocks within our community that I don't even see people jumping into the same stocks or even talking about the stock that I'm talking about, which is actually, I take as a compliment, because now people are so knowledgeable on how to identify potential that they're now able to do it themselves. And that's what this whole group is about. It's not for me to kind of just talk about my trades and for you guys to mimic my trades, but for everyone to just understand the fundamentals of trading or investing, and then doing their own DD, and then again, sharing their best practices, sharing their mistakes, and promoting a supportive community, because that's what we're here to do. And I think that's one of the best things. There's a lot of people that always just, after working their like 9 to 5 or just working their normal job, they get so excited to come back to the group of TechBuild Solutions and just share some ideas or share what they did well today. And it's kind of like again, TechBuds being like, we're your buds, right? We're your buddies. And it's just very I love this community, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I'm going to dedicate a couple questions. I'm going to dedicate a couple minutes. So for those that don't want to stay for this live stream, if you guys want to do a Q&A, I'm here already, and I don't have to leave for the next 4 minutes. So feel free to ask away for any questions that you guys have about like anything, as long as it's not like too personal. But yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in. For those that are about to leave, again, the link is down below if you guys are joining us for the first time for the TechBud Solutions Facebook platform. Again, it is a free platform. You guys can just click the link down below, and feel free to follow me on my social media account, Instagram, if you guys haven't done so already. But most importantly, continue doing what it is that you guys love. Continue working hard and being the best that you guys can be. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. So let's go ahead and start answering some questions. So thank you guys for tuning in. Okay, this is by Hunter Munch. Should I drop number of shares if my order is taking a while after market hours? Well, you have to understand, there's a lot of people that are supposed to be day trading and end up holding the stock because they hope that after market hours, or they have to hold because it didn't perform the way that you wanted. And something that we've already touched base on is to never allow a day trade to become a swing trade because it didn't perform the way that you did. I think you should always have a plan before going into your trades. And if you don't, then I think that might be one of the first mistakes. Good MACD. So Rick Hoffert, did I miss it? You did miss it, but this video will republish, and we touched briefly on like how I personally like can use MACD. So I hope you guys found it helpful. If you guys did, we'd appreciate the thumbs up, but definitely don't have to. Got to do a video on Fibonacci spiral. Bradley Ryan, appreciate that. Scalp trading video. Manny's like, or you can spend $2,000 on class by so-called professionals, traders, and you'll make millions. LOL. I don't know what you're answering, but you can make a TD Ameritrade account and use our educational system. Yeah. So Manny, I think you're thank you for answering all these questions. I appreciate that. Are the tickers on the right? Oh. So you guys are asking, are the tickers on the right of my board the stocks for tomorrow? No, I want to get back into kind of the routine of posting kind of like my watch list, if that's okay with you guys. So I'll be sure to do that a little bit more often. But these are the stocks that I called out today within our live stream, and they all had margins of profit. They all did the way that we expected them to do. So Jay and I performed the way that we predicted. D guys performed exactly the way that we predicted. So I said that it was going to go below 24 just like it did before, and then once it breaks the resistance above 24, that it has this margin of profit to go back up to 25. I think it ended up hitting highs of like 24.75, something like that, and then it saw a downward trend, but it got really close to that resistance, or it hit highs of 24.85 or something like that. I didn't get in it. I got in a little bit too late. It was already at like 24.40, and then I got in at 24.60, and it was a bad trade. It was definitely a bad trade. I wish I would have gotten in a little bit earlier. I forced that trade myself, and that was a bad trade. But I did pretty well with ZN. We called that one out perfectly, so I called that out all within the TechBud Solutions group chat. So I hope you guys like that, and then we called out Rig as well. So what is your favorite price range? Did it change from when you started? Heck yeah. So like everyone else, there's this like get rich quick scheme, right? And there's people that say like, these very low cap stocks. I don't want to subjugate those because we have very, successful true penny stock day traders within our community that truly focus on stocks less than $1 and even less than the value of a cent. And that's their style and that's their niche within the market, and 100%, you guys go for it, and you guys have a specific technique that not a lot of traders do. Now, when it comes to my specific style, I started with very low cap stocks, and I saw a lot of, I traded a lot of stocks less than $1 or about $1, and they all depreciate in value. Not all of them, but a majority of them, the ones that I traded. So I saw a lot of red days, and that's what led to me seeing consistent losses. And I've talked about that before. And then when I started to focus, like develop myself as a trader, I learned how to identify potential, the importance of planning out my trade, keeping losses small, something that I talk about all the time. Just understanding those principles, I saw that I had more of a success rate when it came down to trading really stocks from about $1 to $20. But then when I started trading more gold ETFs, gold-based ETFs, and they've gone through reverse stock splits and stuff like that. Now I go through $1 to $30 is my specific price range that I like to focus on. So although some people call me or label me as, or I've labeled myself as like a penny stock day trader or penny stocks, I don't trade penny stocks. So it's just more for the name itself. A lot of people search it, so that's why I just put it. So I do trade penny stocks. Watch CGI tomorrow, Ricky. I'll add that to my thank you for the recommendation. Again, it comes down to exposure. Does it mean that I'm going to trade that? Doesn't mean that I'm going to trade it. It just means that I'm exposed to the opportunity. When it comes down to dedicating 15 to 20 minutes or to 30 minutes every single day to identify potential within the stocks within my watch list, I'll check it out, see if I see value in it, and if I do, I'll trade it, and then I'll go for it if it makes sense to me. What would be the best brokerage for starting with $1,000? This is by Flameboy904. So that's a very biased question. It comes down to your experience when it comes to trading. If you're barely starting out with trading, I would personally recommend starting with simulation trading and paper trading. And I know a lot of people don't like starting out with that. And that's just it. I would much rather develop myself as a trader, learning from my, best practices and kind of like my failure in the very, beginning years of trading. I thought I could do it right away. I thought I can, just day trade like everyone else. And that wasn't the case. I'd much rather preach to first prove to yourself that you can be a profitable trader, and then make the investment or the decision that once you've proven to yourself, then choose a brokerage company. But when it comes down to if you want to keep like costs small because you have $1,000 and it's not the largest account, Robinhood is a very popular one because they don't charge commissions, but they don't have the best execution, they don't have the best customer support, or they don't have the best real-time quotes. So Neil is asking, do you recommend any books? Are there any specific for your trading style that are specific to your trading style? That's one of the biggest areas of opportunity, I think, for myself. And I think the biggest thing is I always, when people direct message me this question, is I personally don't read day trading books, and I didn't learn because of any books or anything like that. I learned from trial and error. And I know a lot of people do recommend a lot of books within TechBet Solutions. So if you guys can do me a favor, and I'll share my screen for this. So that's a really good question, and I think a lot of people can really benefit from this. If you guys are in the TechBet Solutions Facebook platform, search up just book, key term on the left-hand side, and by searching up book, and they start recommendations and certain books that, and just get people's, again, they're sharing their best practices and what they found as a good buy and what the whole purpose is. So again, use that search bar to try to identify, or answer a specific question that you have. So that's definitely a big opportunity for myself to read a little bit more. But understanding that day trading isn't my only source of income, and I only do it for about 2 hours a day. A lot of my main focus is in my businesses, and I tend to focus a little bit more time on that. So again, I still, the more you know, the better you'll do. That's an area of opportunity for myself. But that's a good question because it's a very common question. Let's see. Can you leave a link in the description for paper trading? I've done this before. So all you have to search up on the Google search bar is TD Ameritrade, and then you can download the app and simulation trading, and it's very simple. I've made a video on it, so search up paper trading TD Ameritrade Ricky Gutierrez, and my video will pop up with the link in the description. Oh my goodness, Connor, that is correct. You guys are hilarious. I actually just told my roommates that they're super annoying because they always open the door during my live streams, but they're all like, you always go live, so it's not our fault. So yeah. How much are you charging your roommates for rent? Well, because I'm a property manager, right? So I own these properties. But if you guys want to be a part of Milky Assets, which is part of, if you guys want to live in one of my houses, the link is down below for you guys to subscribe to my Milky Assets LLC. It's the company that is the umbrella for all of my different properties. So what I try to do, and for those that don't know, is I try to buy homes, right, and I convert them to investment properties, and I try to house motivated entrepreneurs or students to surround themselves with like-minded people. I think that's something that can really encourage a lot of creativity and a lot of motivation and a very positive environment. So I usually buy 3 to 4 bedroom houses. They're usually newer than 1990. Right now they're all newer than 2008. But the houses that we're planning on buying by the end of the year, not my just like sole investment properties, like the actual like fourplexes or anything like that. Those I don't house students on. Those are just like I house normal people, right? But those that are entrepreneurs that want to live with, that are about to go to college and stuff like that. If you guys are in the Arizona area and might want to attend ASU or just want to surround yourself and you're within the age of 18 to I think the oldest is about 24, then we'd love to have you. You guys could subscribe to that, to the email list. And once we have a house and we need people to live there, we send out an email list. But we haven't had to send out an email list because we always have people signed up, nearby that always want to be a part of, this type of culture and this type of environment. So that's what Milky Assets is. And I can't disclose how much I charge them per room because I just can't do that. Milky, yes. You guys are funny. Okay, this is a pretty good one. So how many days do you usually look back to see supports and resistance? Well, it comes down to the understanding that if it's a normal stock, not a gapper that is gapping up and breaking a critical point and shooting up, more of a momentum stock, and not a huge gapper that's dropping down and dropped way below the support that it used to trade at $13 and now trading at $9. But just understanding that there's a margin from $1 to 110 and then from 110 to 120, understanding that type of trading style. If I want to day trade that stock, I obviously want to buy at the support and sell at the resistance. A day trader, I look back, maybe 2 days to 3 days to get a better understanding realistically what the stock has potential to move within one market open, because the whole purpose of day trading is to buy and sell for a profit within that same day or within a couple of minutes. Understanding that I'm not planning to buy at $1 when 1 year ago it was at 140, and why would I expect it to go at 140 when it was there 1 year ago, and it was at 110 maybe 3 days ago, and it's at $1. So understanding that if you're thinking about day trading, then you should be looking realistically within a smaller amount of days to do your analysis to identify support and resistance. But if you're thinking about swing trading, maybe a Fortune 500 company, and they're below 30 RSI, they're showing signs of good upward momentum that they've identified their support, then you might want to go back 2 months back, depending on how long you want to hold it, to then sell for a profit. So first understand the type of stock that you're trading and how long you plan on holding it. And if you're thinking about just day trading it, then you shouldn't go back that far, because no reason you should be, in a sense, identifying a resistance that's 30 days back when the margin that it's staying at right now is realistically just around $1 to $1.10. So, but good question. That's a really good question. All right, guys, it's 7:10. I'll go ahead and answer one more question. Nike or Adidas? All right, so this is our last question. No, I'm just kidding. I'll answer one more after this. Nike or Adidas? I like Nikes, but I wear Adidas. Kind of like stuff like soccer pants or whatever they're called, like with the 3 lines. Yeah. So Ian says, how many days do you go back to analyze the stock? I kind of just answered that. That's an awesome idea. Would you consider partnering up and making that a countrywide company? So I think you're talking about Milky Assets as in a house. So that's obviously, so Chad Collins, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the comment. So he's talking about the properties that I have. I try to house motivated entrepreneurs to surround themselves with like-minded individuals. And we charge relatively very inexpensive prices because, again, it comes down to the understanding that these students are just trying to spark their interest. So profit isn't necessarily our primary focus. We're partnered with different Fortune 500 companies, so we try to provide a gateway or a channel for these students to have a stable income. So if we can partner up with enough properties, or we can buy enough properties, and we can partner up with enough like Fortune 500 states, then we can get a little bit more of a statewide or a kind of like United statewide type of like housing where milky assets can be in all local like college communities or something like that. But at the moment, my biggest focus is, although it's not very profitable or any profit at all for Techbot Solutions, that's my primary focus. And maybe once I have that a little bit more stable, I'd love to focus a little bit more on real estate and stuff like that. But just at the moment, that's not necessarily the biggest thing. I like to focus what I can manage within my area because I'm busy enough. But for real though, let's go McGregor. I don't want to see Floyd. I agree. I would like to see Mayweather win as well. Ricky, is that sort of housing only available in Arizona? I only have houses in Arizona, so I only offer it within my houses. But yeah, so I don't own any properties outside of Arizona. Ricky G and the Milky Ash. Okay, you guys are too much. Russell says, thank you for all the advice. I've learned a lot from your videos. I really do appreciate it. That's definitely, very humbling and very just great to always hear. We do get it a lot, and I don't mean that to like brag, but it's always nice to like, we're always going to get people that hate, but I think after they see that, I'm not here to make a profit off of you guys, and I'm not here to for you guys to trade or manipulate you guys in any way, right? Once they see the type of community that we are and how supportive we are, I think that really shows our true colors and how we try to motivate one another. So I really do appreciate your support, and you guys are the reason that I'm doing this. So, thank you, Russell, for dedicating time to listening to me for this entire live stream. Who do I follow as a mentor? I'm going to end it here. Who do I follow as a mentor? Well, there's a lot of people that I'm inspired by, and there's a lot of people that I look up to, but I'm not, because I'm so, I think, diversified when it comes down to like what it is that I do. I'm very like entrepreneurial when it comes to like the buying and reselling of different things, always trying to find creative ways on how to make money off of different things that I own, and always trying to almost either break even with whatever it is that I own or try to make money. That's kind of my mindset, and it's kind of like just who I am, right? So I love that about me, and when it comes down to that specific aspect of my life, I like to focus on people that are very like motivated, kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk, right? He has a kind of like just like a drive to like hustle and stuff like that, and I love that about him, and that's kind of what I like, right, about that. So now when it comes down to like investing and stuff like that, I really like Warren Buffett's approach and like, just being a transparent and happy guy and being honest in everything it is that you choose to pursue, and just providing, right, he has an amazing company, probably one of the most profitable companies in the world. I think the top 5 or top 10 for Berkshire Hathaway. So I think he's a good guy to look up to when it comes down to having the proper fundamentals and just the hard work ethic and doing what it is that you love and being honest about it. So I love that about him. Now when it comes down to creativity and when it comes down to just wanting to provide something different for people, I like to look up to like a lot of people like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, because these guys like see potential. They're extremely intelligent guys, so I'm nowhere near to, I'm even, if anything, like below average when it comes down to my intelligence. But I think a lot of it has to do with my drive in and not giving up and consistency and determination to always, accomplish my goals and always work hard, set up a plan on how I'm going to get there. And I don't care if it takes me, twice or 3 times as hard as everyone else, because I know that I can work 4 to 10 times as hard as anyone else. So that's it. So I think whoever it is that you guys are wanting to look up to, just understand that there's never going to be a perfect way for you to be successful. There's so many different ways now to make money. There's so many different just opportunities out there in the world. It comes down to you seeing, as an investor, as an entrepreneur, to identify a specific market that you believe you can be successful in and that you see indicators that you can be successful in, and setting up a plan on how you're going to get there. If it's 1 year, if it's a week, or if it's 10 years down the road. Understand that with the proper planning, if it makes sense on papers, if the numbers make sense, and you can work for it, and you can work towards it, then it will happen. right? It just comes down to the hard work and what it is that you want to achieve. So I like to look up to anyone that's successful, because regardless if they're reputable or not, they did something that not a lot of people did, but it doesn't mean that I have to follow their footsteps. You guys don't have to follow mine, because you guys aren't ever going to be exactly like me. A lot of you are going to be more successful than I am. A lot of you guys might not. But we all formulate success as something different. Just understand that enjoy what it is that you do. You know, there's nothing wrong with having a normal job as long as you're enjoying your life. Success is whatever it is that you view it to be, and it's different for every person. I just want to provide a platform for people to be, you know, helpful and supportive to one another, and to help motivate one another, because I love having a person there with me to always motivate me, to always go back to. And I know that I always have you guys, that if I'm having a rough day, which I haven't because I'm always so busy. So I've never had a day where I kind of just want to talk to you guys and for you guys to boost my ego, or not boost my ego, but motivate me, right? And I know one day, if that day does come, right, that I can, man, like I'm thinking of kind of just giving up. And I know you guys will tell me, like, shut up, Ricky, you know, get up and go do it. And that's why I want you guys to be a part of my group. I want you guys to, you know, be a part of my success, as well as me to be a part of yours. So you guys are hilarious. So my roommates are tired of me and my live streams. So I'll go ahead and post the different stocks that I'm going to be looking at for tomorrow. I'm not too sure if you guys, here, Phil, if you want to come out. Not too sure if you guys have to have met Phil. Phil's that hilarious. But you know, I really just, he's a super fun guy, and I really just love surrounding myself with people that, this guy drives me crazy though. He's probably one of the craziest, one of the hardest people to take control of. But yeah, it's what we do. We surround ourselves with people that motivate us. And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be buying and selling bikes so aggressively. But it comes down to those that you surround yourself with. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I appreciate everything that you guys do. I'll have this in the Technical Solutions Facebook platform posted, so the link is going to be down below. Continue doing what it is that you guys love to do. Continue working hard, you know, and just follow your passion, right? So thank you guys again for watching. If you guys could subscribe, you know, we'd appreciate that. Stop, Phil, please. Stop. Appreciate everything that you guys do. I hope you guys, oh yeah, you owe me 100, I forgot. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care.